Speedway Sprint Showdown qualifying coming up in moments here on Speed, and also we'll have qualifying for the Sprint All-Star Race. For the latest on what's going on schedule-wise in the garage, let's get it down to Randy Pemberton.
Well, Sprint Cup Series Director John Darby here, and we're just standing outside the inspection lane. A lot of cars getting ready to roll through here, and of course, John, we had a shower roll through here just a little while ago, and of course that washed out truck qualifying. What happens now if we get another shower? Because they're saying there might be one pending out there. What is the situation with the Showdown cars and the All-Star cars qualifying tonight? Should they get rained out?
Well, as you know, and I think most people do, on a championship event, it's all controlled with the rule book. But much like there are so many special features to this event that surrounds all of the All-Star show and the Showdown itself, it's written into the entry blank that the qualifying draw that the teams went through earlier today, which ultimately determines the order of qualifying, will then become the race lineup as we go into tomorrow night's events.
Okay, so there you have it. That's how it will line up. It's where you pick to go out to qualify. That's where you'll line up tonight. From John Darby. Bob Dillner.
You see the Mark the Kid Martin on top of the number 5 car as it gets ready to go to the qualifying grid here. Actually has to go through pre-qualifying tech. Alan Gustafson is the crew chief, and we spoke to Mark a little earlier, and he was very happy. So, Mr. Crew Chief, are you happy with your car as well?
Yeah, we're pretty pleased. You know, you're never completely happy with it, but Mark makes us look good. So we're pretty good in the heat of the day. It's going to be a different story tomorrow night, and it'll be a different story tonight, you know, when it cools off. So we made one qualifying run and had some work to do, a little too tight, so the guys are fixing it up right now, and look forward to getting a good lap and a good couple of laps and getting a good pit stop and see if we can't sit on the pole.
That's a key thing, too, the pit stop here tonight. You know, last night we saw the pit crew challenge on speed, but tonight the real live stuff goes on, and that kind of makes it interesting here.
It does. It's really cool to get the pit crew involved, you know, and make them a part of the qualifying procedure. And it's tough on the drivers, you know, getting the pit road really, really hard and getting off really hard is a tough thing to do, especially leaving full speed there. So I'm sure Mark will do a good job. It'll be a lot of fun, and that's what this deal's all about. It's having some fun and hopefully win a lot of money.
All right, Alan, you get with the boys and get this car ready for qualifying here. It's really interesting, Steve. During practice, we saw it time and time again. Folks like Mark Martin, Carl Edwards, practicing how they were going to get off of pit road, whether you're going to go out to the pavement, whether you're going to stay on the cement. It's all about traction and getting off of pit road during qualifying.
All right, thank you very much, Bob. And now Hermie Sadler has joined me up on the stage right outside the Lowe's Motor Speedway as we continue to dry this track after a shower. Just a brief shower, Hermie.
Brief shower.
Just a clearing shower.
Just a cooling down shower.
That's all that was. And I want to ask you, I asked Darrell a little while ago, I think it was Monday on This Week at NASCAR, I asked Biffle, I asked Greg, I said, you were running second last year. At some point in your mind, do you even think about that $1 million? And he said, I don't care if it's for $1 or $10 million. All I want to do is win. So far, Schrader, DW, Larry, Mack, Jeff, they've all said,
If you're second and the guy's right in front of you and you're that close to $1 million, you thinking about that $1 million, I can tell you that. And the pride. I mean, all the other stuff that people say is, you know, the pride, the trophy, the bragging rights, all that's in play too. But, you know, basically this thing comes down to 10 laps for $1 million. And when I think about the All-Star race, a lot of people have different, you know, things they say about it. To me, it's opportunities to mess up. I mean, the whole weekend, I mean, qualifying tonight, it's not just a fast race car, it's getting on pit road, it's the 4-tire stop, it's getting off pit road. You know, then you got all those segments, and can you make the right call? Do you stay out? Do you get tires? What do? You got so many chances, and it doesn't take but one mistake to knock you out of that $1 million. So this, getting to that final 10 laps is more about who is solid, who doesn't make the mistakes, and that double file restart, we talk about it every year, but you know we're going to have a caution or two in that last 10 laps, and you know it's going to be a double file restart, and you know that somebody's going to be mad when the race is over.
That's what I was going to say. You know somebody's
going to get mad.
You know that. All right, we'll have more from qualifying here at Lowe's Motor Speedway. We will have Showdown qualifying, followed by qualifying for the big show. Stay with us here on Speed from Lowe's Motor Speedway.
NASCAR All-Star race is intense. Be there for the 2009 NASCAR Sprint All-Star Race. Saturday at 7 Eastern, live in Speed HD.
NASCAR on Speed. Be there.
Don't miss the NASCAR Sprint All-Star Race Saturday at 7 Eastern for your chance to win $25,000 in cold hard cash. Register at speedtv.com now and find out how to win daily cash prizes. Catch the race, catch the cash, only on Speed.
To master the great outdoors, the pros choose Husqvarna for exceptional power and performance, precision, and amazing control. Master your great outdoors with the same power and performance demanded by the pros. Husqvarna, professionally proven outdoor power equipment. Test drive a Husqvarna at your servicing dealer during spring demo days.
Paying more than
At Michelin, each tire goes through a series of rigorous tests, including a thorough hand inspection.
I'm never gonna let you go. Gonna hold you in my arms forever. Gonna try and make up for the times hurt you so.
Michelin, a better way forward. To take advantage of special spring offers from Michelin, visit www.michelinman.com to find a dealer near you.
You know how your engine feels. And when it's running clean, you feel it. Which is why Pennzoil Motor Oil doesn't just help prevent sludge. Pennzoil actively cleans out sludge. Cleans out up to 15% of sludge the first time you use it. So make your next oil change a Pennzoil change. And feel the clean. Not just oil, Pennzoil.
Back to Lowe's Motor Speedway, the King weighing in down in the garage area as he does every weekend here. This weekend at the Lowe's Motor Speedway as our all-star coverage continues. Let's take a look at who was quick in practice. Steve Burns, Hermie Sadler with you. Coming off that momentum, a win at Darlington, Hermie, Mark Martin, third quickest.
Yeah, momentum's very, very important. This is Mark Martin's kind of racetrack. No reason why they won't be effective and be in contention tomorrow night.
Second quick in a Toyota, it's Kyle Busch, the wild thing. A lot of people think that this is his kind of race.
Well, that's what they say. They say you line them up for 10 laps for $1 million, let it all hang out. When you think of that, you think of Kyle Busch.
Yeah, he's second quick. But the quickest, well, Jimmy Johnson.
That's a shock.
Yeah, that's a shocker. They did the tire test here. Let's just give him the trophy, shall we?
I mean, that is a tremendous advantage, more so than in years past. But Jimmy Johnson does not need any more help winning at Lowe's Motor Speedway.
Hermie, as we take a look at the speeds in practice, was this relevant? In other words, we had talked earlier about practicing in the heat of the day, qualify now. They'll qualify after 6 p.m. and they'll race tomorrow night.
I really don't think so. I mean, I think a lot of guys I talked to, Steve, even though this is the all-star race for $1 million, a lot of these teams were experimenting, trying stuff they've been wanting to bring out of the shop and have a good baseline. You can A-B stuff, and because of the testing policy and because of how difficult it is to back-to-back stuff on the racetrack with everybody else, a lot of guys were feeling their way through some stuff as we look through the lineup here. But now, when it comes time tonight for qualifying, that's when you see who's really got the speed.
Hermie, is it also, we hear a lot of times we go to different tracks about making the driver comfortable. Does that apply here?
No question. I mean, as a driver, you hear them say so much, I want to be in the racetrack, and that's what some of the guys fight at this racetrack, especially because this track changes so much with the heat. We've had, what a temperature swing today, all day rain. As a race car driver, this racetrack, if you're not good, you can feel like you're kind of sliding across the top. You need to turn the steering wheel, but you're scared to. To run fast here, you got to go down and turn one, Steve, crank the steering wheel to the left just a little bit and be able to mat that gas and go. And if a guy who's down in the racetrack digging, as we call it, they're the guys, they're the ones that are running fast.
Let's go down to the garage area and meet up again with Randy.
Hey, thanks, Steve. David Reagan and I got one eye on the sky, and what do you think? Think we're going to get this qualifying in?
I think so. I mean, as long as the sun stays out, the track should drive pretty quick. And as we're standing here, a few sprinkles kind of hit and miss. But, our UPS Ford is it's decent. It's not as fast as I would like for it to be. We've been fighting a tight issue in turns 3 and 4, like a lot of the other teams have. But, we need a shot in the arm, and I think a race like tomorrow night could be what we needed for our UPS team.
With only 40 laps, two 20-lap segments, we talk a lot about qualifying all year long and how important it is, pit stalls and so forth. You'll only get one crack probably at making a chassis adjustment on pit road. But if qualifying gets rained out, you picked 7th as far as your pill, so that's a pretty good start.
Yeah, it's not bad. I think if we could qualify, I could be in that top 7 or 8 or 10. So the last 2 years we've qualified 2nd and 3rd for this race, and we've always seemed to fall off at the end. So we're going to try to reverse that and try to be better at the end of the race, and it'd be awesome to race our way in.
Good luck qualifying. Good luck in the race.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, David. Bob?
Well, Randy, here you see Carl Long's car going through pre-qualifying tech here for the Showdown. I'll tell you what, I love the Showdown race. You get everybody from David Reagan to Carl Long in that race trying to make the All-Star race. And Carl had a little mishap in practice. In fact, you told me just before that engine blew you were about to do what?
I was going to go put a lap down and make David Reagan squeal. but the motor had other options. It started spraying water at the tailpipe, so that wasn't too good. They just thought it was raining. The other guys I wet, so we just let it go on with that. But
this is a pretty cool event, though. I mean, you get to come here and really go for broke, so to speak, you know, and trying to get into the All-Star race car.
It is, and won't nobody else let me drive their car, so I have to drive my own. But our backup motor is a fine piece that we got from the Bill Davis auction a couple years ago, so I'm going to turn this thing loose on them out here in a little while.
How much fun do you have when you come here to a race like this?
None when you end up wallowing in the oil a while ago. but the opportunities to go out, hopefully make our stuff drive a little better, get some sponsorship advertisement for Romeo Guest Construction. I mean, they've been helping me since '94 through my late model days, and Scott Riggs drove for them, and we're back full circle. So I reckon I came in racing big with them, and I'll probably go out that way.
I'll tell you what, talking to Carl Long is like going full circle because it's kind of going back old school, Steve Burns. And remember, he drove DW's car pretty well out here one year, didn't he?
Yes, he did, and did a good job. And I want to go old school a minute with Hermie Sadler talking about All-Star history. You know, Hermie, we've seen many times this week as part of our coverage that finish of the '92 race where Kyle Petty and Davey Allison came together in a sea of sparks, as Mike Joyce said. But I think that race, what was even more significant was just the fact that it was under the lights to begin with, because the All-Star race, which had started in '85, had become successful. But I think putting it under the lights here really put it on the map.
Well, this race started the way, but putting lights at big speedways like Lowe's Motor Speedway, then eventually Daytona, putting these cars under the lights at these speeds, on these kind of tracks, on that kind of stage, really has taken our sport to a whole nother level as far as racing at night, Saturday night. You know, I mean, just because I'm one of the few guys, you know, many people that said, lights at Lowe's? No way. But I'm telling you, driving at night on this speedway with the lights is actually better than driving in the daytime, because all you can see is the racetrack and the two walls. You don't really get a glimpse of everything else that's up there. A lot less distraction. So unbelievable job they've done, but it has certainly taken things up a couple notches.
Well, it's like you said earlier today, it's all about the fans, really.
All about the fans.
It is, and we're glad they're here and glad you guys are with us at home. Well, qualifying, we hope to at the bottom of the hour, and glad you're with us. We're going to keep you updated on the weather. Track drawing continues. Stay with us here on Speed. For the All-Star festivities at the bottom of the hour. Glad you're with us. We'll keep you updated on everything that's happening here at Lowe's Motor Speedway. A few moments ago, Hermie and I talked about the 1992 All-Star race. There have been so many memories made in this event. Let's take a look back at just a few of the special ones since 1985.
There are a very few for which there is a feeling of intensity before the start of the race that is different from all the rest. And the All-Star race is one of those.
There's no points. It's a shootout, it's a showdown. The strategy here is all out. It's a race, you know, where you crew chief tells the driver, bring the steering wheel back or $1 million.
Gad is on the bottom of the racetrack. It will be a drag race.
He was trying to protect the bottom, and I just sailed around on the outside, took the lead, came across the start-finish line.
Darrell Waltrip, a hand in the air, a wave to the crowd.
I got my hand out the window, and I'm just waving at the fans. About that time, Balooey! I mean, the thing blew to smithereens.
What a Hollywood ending.
All-Star race, there was a lot of energy and excitement, obviously, in the races themselves, and there was a lot of drama.
And Earnhardt loses it, goes on the grass, comes back, and Elliott goes inside. And Earnhardt still got the lead, incredible.
caused a big mess, and then he come up there and tried to spin me out twice. I didn't take it.
Darrell Waltrip in the fourth corner now. Wallace comes down low again. He pumps the tire. Waltrip loses it as they touch. Waltrip spins it backwards across the grass as they come to the white flag.
Race as hard as you can. You don't worry about points. You don't worry about anything other than trying to win the race.
Kyle Petty coming to the checkered flag. Here comes Davey Allison to the bottom. It'll be the finish everybody was waiting for. They crashed past the finish line. They have crashed into turn number 1. And Davey Allison is in a shower of sparks.
In 96, there were going to be 5 spots out of the open that transferred to the Winston.
And advancing from the Winston Select Open, Michael Waltrip wins.
I'm telling you what, if your hair doesn't stand up in the back of your neck, you don't have any hair on the back of your neck. It's a special feeling. It really is.
You know what I liked about the clip of 89 when Rusty gets into DW? Darrell never lifted. He just kept his foot in the gas like, hey, I know Rusty's going to back out here in a second. Nope.
And those memories stay with drivers forever. I mean, we work with DW every weekend. He remembers those last couple laps just like it was yesterday. But this race breeds great finishes like that. And think tomorrow night for the final segment, coming off a 10-minute break, 4 field goods for everybody, line them up double foul, and run 10 laps for $1 million. Is that not going to be something?
That's like throwing that piece of raw meat out to a bunch of wild dogs. That's what that
regardless
is.
of what happens in the first 3 segments. Doesn't matter.
Nope.
They're going to line up with 10 to go, with everybody with final adjustments being made, 4 tires on, air pressure's pumped up, drivers pumped up.
You know what?
You don't want to miss it.
You know what Booty Barker always says, don't you?
What did he say?
He says, what do y'all expect?
What do y'all expect?
Let's go down to Bob Dillner.
Well, you know, we're all friends. We're all family here in the garage area, and so much to do last week at Darlington in the incident between Carl Edwards and Greg Biffle. Jack Roush has spoke about it this past week. Take a look at it right here. That's 1 week ago at the Lady in Black, the 16 car and the 99. I won't say what happened. I'm going to let the spotters decide what happened here. Now, these 2 guys here that I have with me, this is Joel Edmonds. He is the spotter for the 16 car, Greg Biffle, and also Jason Hedleski with Carl Edwards. Now, first question first. You guys are best of friends, but did you get into the 99 car last week?
I'm still sticking with the story that we didn't hit him. I don't think we made any contact. It's unfortunate that happens because that was kind of a tough place on the racetrack where Carl needed all the room he could get, and we were trying to get all we could get with 4 fresh tires. And we've got 5 great cars in it, and that stuff's going to happen, but you hate when it happens with your teammates. You know, we had an incident at Talladega last year that got a lot of us, and, you know, there's just nothing you can do about it. And everybody says, well, what did Jason say or what did Joel say? I mean, we're best friends at the end of the day, and, you know, first he's going to poke me and say, what happened? I'm like, he says I don't think we touched you, but, you know, I think we were all over you, and, you know, you just hate it, and, you know it's going to be a tough Tuesday. It's tough for, you know, everybody at Roush Fenway when something like that happens, but it's going to happen. When you got 5 good cars like we've got, eventually they're going to run together. I mean, stuff's hitting each other all the time out there, and it's, you know, it's just tough. And I was just glad it was Jason, you know, because he's one of my best friends, and, you know, he does a great job with Carl, and we've been together a long time.
I want to know, up on the spotter stand, did you, like, poke each other, hit each other?
Well, we were standing right beside one another, and, you know, Jason looks over at me, and he's kind of, you know, got his hands up like that, and I'm like, dude, I don't know, you know, because we're, you know, it's not like you can look at your car the whole time, because I could see us trying to make an advance on Carl, but we're still looking ahead, too, in case somebody spins out in front of us, and it's like, let me see what we got. So we go to talking, and our crew chief's talking, and, you know, and Greg Irwin says, you know, it looks clean to us, and then I got to go back then, you know, Carl's night's ruined. We knew that, and we hated that, but I've got to turn around, and we had one of the best cars at Darlington. I've got to go back and say, hey, Greg, you got to forget about this. Try to go win the race now and put that out of your head, and we'll worry about it tomorrow, you know, because it's done and over with, which is the sad part, but that's what you got to do. You got to press on, and we did the best we can, but me and Jason don't have any problems ever.
I think Joel is like the new Kenny Wallace of the garage area here, because I don't think I could shut him up if I wanted to. But Jason Hedleski, you saw the video. What happened there?
Well, it's funny. Carl asked me the same question. And, you know, it's racing. You know, Biffle had 4 tires. We had 2. And I'm sure he didn't mean it, you know. Joel looked at me and he said, I don't think he touched you. And, okay, you know, so, yeah, you don't really say anything. I mean, we're not driving the cars, you know. I mean, I can't pick them up and throw them over the top or anything. It's just a real long, hard night there at Darlington. I mean, it's 500 miles. You're just trying to get through it. And the shoe has been on the other foot before. So, you know, so we just work together the best we can, and not really. It's hard to get upset at the guy. I don't really. I mean, Joel's probably one of the most easygoing guys up there.
But what's really cool is you're here this week, and you know, from one week to another, you need to forget about that, and everybody is all friends and happy again.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, it's absolutely disappointing last week when it happened, but you know, I mean, you don't hold it against Joel, you don't hold it against Greg. It's one of those things. I mean, there's 43 cars out there, and at one time or another on a one-group racetrack, somebody's going to go through this, you know, go for the same piece of real estate. So, yeah, we're back at it again this weekend.
I'll tell you what, I think the moral of the story here is these boys are friends. They'll be friends forever, but they'll agree to disagree. Don't you think, Steve?
Yeah, that's true, Bob. Now, Herbie, you know one thing I have never heard a driver... Yes, sir?
I'm not sure what we learned in that segment.
No, but here's... one thing I have never heard a driver say, like you're listening to the scanner during the race, they always say, hey, tell him I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Have we ever heard a driver say, hey, tell Dale Jr. I meant to do that, I meant to wreck him?
Terry Labonte said that at Bristol when Dale Earnhardt Sr. crashed him. Dale Jr. said, I just meant to get up and rattle his cage, and Terry Labonte said, have you ever heard him say he meant to do it? But, I mean, the bottom line is they answered. I mean, it's tight racing at Darlington. Coming off turn 2 at Darlington, you've got 8 feet of racetrack, and you've got 2 3,450-pound stock cars trying to get through there. It's a wonder they don't crash a lot more than they do. The spotters may have forgot about it, but I guarantee you Greg Biffle and Carl Edwards hadn't forgot about it. And the next time they get close on the racetrack, maybe a little less give and take.
I had one driver tell me years ago, any driver who tells you he doesn't have a list up there of paybacks is a liar.
Very much. Most of them are liars anyway. But when it comes to forgiving somebody, you can forget it.
That's right. All right, we're going to take you up to qualifying. Stay with us here on Speed. We'll keep you updated. Glad you're with us for all-star coverage here on Speed.
A costly one. And AutoZone is here to help every step of the way. We're the one place you'll find the expertise, tools, and advice you can trust to help you do the job right the first time. Because do it yourself doesn't mean you have to do it alone. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
This is racing, y'all. Sometimes you gotta trade a little paint.
Introducing Amp Energy's Trade and Paint. Orange, berry, and lime slam together for a limited time. From Amp Energy.
Dale Jr.
Amp up.
Okay, at The General, it's really easy to buy auto insurance online. Just log on to thegeneral.com for an instant quote. You'll get a great low rate, a low monthly payment, and a down payment as low as $59. Don't get caught driving uninsured or paying for more insurance than you need. So, log on to thegeneral.com right now. Too big?
Just a little. For the best car insurance rates online, go to the General and save some time.
Hey, Kevin. Filling up with nitrogen-enriched Shell gasoline? It seeks and destroys the engine gunk left by lower quality gasoline.
Yes! Winner!
Everyone wins with new nitrogen-enriched Shell gasolines.
Back at Lowe's Motor Speedway, still no rain. That's a good sign for qualifying coming up here for the shootout. And then the big show, the All-Star Shootout. There's Greg Biffle's car down in the garage area. Speaking of, let's go to Randy Pemberton.
Thank you, Steve. Scott Riggs, one of the guys that has transferred out of this showdown in the past, 2006, had a great car that night. After you transferred, what happened?
Oh, we transferred, and then we made it into the All-Star race, and really had a car that was capable of winning that race. And the way the rules are so different in the All-Star race, we actually got hit from behind and turned around and spun out, and they didn't have a caution, so we got a lap down. And then the way the rules are, any lap down car, one, doesn't get their lucky dog, and two, every time they have a restart, you have to start in the rear. So we would go all the way to the rear, and they drop the green flag, and we'd drive up to like 4th or 5th, and they have another caution, and we'd fall back again. So, I mean, that was fun. We had a good time. You know, making it into the All-Star was great. Wish we could have been there and been able to win it, not get spun out and get a lap down. But, you know, trying to do the same thing today, trying to get in the show. And, yeah, we had a lot of trouble today in practice. We fought with the steering box problem that somehow the steering box got damaged between last week's race and this week's race. So somewhere across loading into the truck and going back home and coming back, we had a problem. So it cost a lot of time in practice. So we changed a lot on the car, and we'll go out there and see what we got in qualifying right now.
Did you get that fixed, and will it be okay during the race?
Yeah, we got it fixed. We finally diagnosed it was the box after we changed the pump, and then we finally went to take enough time to change the box. But it takes a lot of time to change that, when you have such a small amount of time to make your race runs and qualifying runs before this race tonight. How big a deal will qualifying be, and where will you end up, you think? Qualifying will be pretty big because it's such a short race. You need to be somewhere close to the front when you qualify. We sat on the pole here in 06 and we won it, so I think you need to be in the top 4 or 5 to be in striking distance. Good luck tonight. Bob Dillner.
Randy, here's the pre-qualifying meal for the 39 bunch. You see the corned beef and cheese by Big John here at the 39 trailer. That's him right there, one of the best cooks in the business in the garage area. And this guy is one of the best drivers in the business, especially during qualifying at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. Ryan Newman, you ready for this tonight?
I had my corned beef Reuben, so I'm good. I think so. U.S. Army Chevrolet was pretty good. We didn't do a qualifying run. I spent most of my time getting to pit road and, maximizing pit road speed. And really the biggest difference is how good a stop the guys have, and obviously no penalties afterwards. So work with the car, trying to get the balance good. The tires seem to change quite a bit, from heat cycles and things like that. But just happy to be in the show and working on race trim stuff.
There's a big debate as to whether or not to take the cement or the pavement, the asphalt, to coming off a pit road after your pit stop. Have you figured that out yet?
No. No, I left once, and there is a debate there, but I think it all depends. You want one or the other, I think. That's my gist of it.
He's not going to give us the secret just yet, but let's talk about the past couple weeks. 2 straight top 5 finishes, for both cars, and you've been on a roll. Last week at Darlington, another good race for you.
Yeah, the guys at Stewart Haas Racing are doing a great job, and Hendrick's engine department, chassis department, there have been a lot of help, and obviously their support, so thank them too. But bottom line is we're running good, we're performing good, but we're getting the finishes to go along with it, and that's what you have to do in this sport. You can run in the top 5 all day, but if you don't finish there's no point in it.
Stephen Hermie, with the way this guy has been running and this team has been running lately, they got to be one of the favorites, especially since he's won this before. And I'll tell you what, that was a spectacular battle with Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Yes, it was, Bob. We're going to take a look now at the drivers who are entered or qualified, actually, for the All-Star race. And, Hermie, as we take a look at the drivers, one thing really pops out to me. We've had 5 different winners in the last 5 races. There really is not a favorite.
Well, it's been a little bit of a tweak every year. We've had different set of rules, different kind of formats, new cars coming in, so nobody's really figured out the recipe to get on a roll and win 3 or 4 of these in a row.
Jeff Gordon is a 3-time winner of this race, and Jimmy Johnson has won it twice, as has Mark Martin.
Look at a list of drivers. How are you supposed to pick a winner out of all of them people? I mean, they're all winners. That's why they're in the race. So, I mean, it's a...
Hey, what I like about this whole scenario, Hermie, is we'll have 2 drivers transfer from the Showdown, and then, like last year, we're going to have a fan vote winner, and Casey Kane, who didn't even win the Showdown, was voted in by the fans and won the race.
And I said earlier today, to me, having Casey Kane get in through the fan vote and win really validated that, because it was kind of a, nobody really bought into that previously. It's like, who's the most popular guy? Who do we like the most?
Right.
Who's got the prettiest car? But for Casey Kane to take the fans, basically, to victory lane, I think really made a statement for the fan vote. And fans can still vote. They need to go do that.
Yeah, it's so unpredictable, this All-Star race. So stay with us. We're going to keep you updated on track conditions and let you know when qualifying will get started here in Charlotte.
My kids call me the Shredder, because every bill I get goes right in my
inbox, not my mailbox. I pay for everything online, so I can...
Stop. Just take a deep breath. I know my identity is safer. Besides...
I get these text messages. They're called spending alerts. I feel more in control. My husband feels
funky, funky, and crunky. But I've stopped using my pets' names as passwords.
Everyone's talking about keeping money safe. At Citi, we've got ways to help keep your finances secure. And when your money's safe, your mind's at ease.
I'm Ozzy Osbourne, and I'm the Prince of Darkness.
The Lich King is the Prince of Darkness, Ozzy.
Well, maybe you're the one who's been riding a bloody crazy train, but I've been the Prince of Darkness since 1979.
There can be only one Prince of Darkness.
World of Warcraft. Try it for free at warcraft.com.
Rated T for teen.
With the rising cost of fuel and auto maintenance, now more than ever, it's important to get the most from your vehicle's engine. Z-Max Micro Lubricant can help. Z-Max, the only micro lubricant that's used with your favorite motor oil by actually soaking into the metal. Z-Max reduces carbon buildup, resulting in increased fuel mileage, improved engine performance, and extended engine life. Easy to use. Just pour into your engine's oil and your fuel system for non-stop protection. Z-Max, 60 years of reliable, proven performance. Locate your nearest retailer at zmax.com.
What's your favorite race? My favorite race? The ones that leave me feeling upside down.
Night race at Bristol. Every year.
20 years.
I can think of about 84. Darlington.
Richmond.
Daytona 500, 1998. And man, it felt good.
The one that's about to start.
I like the one with lots of wrecks.
My favorite race? Whichever one's next. This is my NASCAR.
This is your NASCAR.
This is our NASCAR.
Back at Lowe's Motor Speedway, Hermie Sadler, Steve Burns with you. Outside at the speed stage, inside, Randy Pemberton and Bob Dillner. Now qualifying for the Camping World Truck Series competitors was rained out. So Hermie, they're going to line up by points. And that puts only two-time winner here in the Truck Series, Kyle Busch, on the pole.
Yeah, Mike Skinner on the outside pole coming off that great win at Kansas for Randy Moss Motorsports, and Hornaday Todd Bodine in row 2.
Matt Crafton, the defending champion of this race.
Brian Scott down in 7th has really been coming along in that series. Steve, he's going to be somebody to keep an eye on.
Young Taylor Mawson driving for Randy Moss Motorsports. James Busher coming off a win in the ARCA REMAX Series.
You look at Colin Brown inside of row 9, Johnny Sauter. David Gilliland, a rare start in the Truck Series in the number 7 truck, and Ryan Newman in the number 4 truck for Kevin Harvick.
Ryan Newman won for Kevin Harvick in a truck. I believe that was at Atlanta. Mike Bliss has a win here in Nationwide Series competition. Norm Benning's in the show. How about that?
Go on, Norm.
Go get some, Norm. And a little bit further, Mario Goslin, in fact, you see him in a Chevrolet, won an ARCA race here several years ago.
This is a big race for the trucks. I mean, Todd Bodine made a point early today that, other than Daytona, this is one of the bigger races to win in the Truck Series, so there'll be a lot going on as far as getting a sponsor hooked up.
Just their 6th race of the 2009 season. With Tony Stewart down in the garage, got his uniform on. Does that mean we're going to qualify? We'll be right back with an update here on Speed.
Tonight on Speed, the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series heads home to Charlotte, where metal will be crushed and egos bruised in the ultimate backyard brawl. It's the perfect storm of danger and speed. Don't miss the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series, North Carolina Education Honoring 200, live from Charlotte tonight, 7:30 Eastern. NASCAR on Speed. Be there.
To master the great outdoors, the pros choose Husqvarna for exceptional power and performance, precision, and amazing control. Master your great outdoors with the same power and performance demanded by the pros. Husqvarna, professionally proven outdoor power equipment. Test drive a Husqvarna at your servicing dealer during spring demo days.
Paying more than.
Do you have any experience?
Nah, not at all.
Tell you one of the big stories of this 2009 season, Tony Stewart driving, owning at the same time. He also owns Ryan Newman's car, also inside the top 10 in points. That's a big story.
Both of them are big stories, especially look at Ryan Newman. He started off terrible runs at Daytona in California. He comes back now. He's up in the top 10, Steve.
Jeff Gordon is your points leader after 11 races. And, of course, after this weekend, we're back here at Lowe's Motor Speedway for the Coca-Cola 600. Let's go back to the garage and Randy.
Well, Tony Stewart here, looking up at the skies, trying to figure out if we're going to get qualifying in. Tony, how was your car today?
Well, we only got about half the session in, but I think we were starting to get a handle on it. The good thing is our teammate Ryan Newman was happy with his car, so see if we get our Office Depot Old Spice Chevy where we want it.
How much of that goes back and forth at this particular time after you've had about 11 races now under your belts? Are you guys close when you get to racetracks or throughout the course of the weekend?
Yeah, Ryan likes a different field than what I like, but what we know works on one work with the other as far as if you need your car to cut and his car's cutting good and mine's not, we can normally figure out why between the two cars. So between our notes and the Hendrick notes, we can normally find a variable that works for us.
Is qualifying a big deal to you? I mean, did you go out there and practice getting it on and off pit road?
I did come in, practice a couple times coming down, and then making sure that we knew exactly what speed we could run to the pit box. Luckily, we all get to really haul the mail out of the pit box, so we don't have to worry about that side. But we did do some practice there and made sure that we found exactly what the tack reading was for making sure we stay underneath that 50-mile-an-hour speed limit.
All right, well, have fun tonight qualifying. Good luck tomorrow night.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, Tony. Steve?
All right, thank you very much, Randy. Hermie, I spoke to Darian Grubb a few weeks ago, the crew chief for Tony Stewart, and I asked him how the no testing edict had affected his team, and he said, in an odd way, it has helped us because it gave us time to get our organization in place. Everything from how they run the shop to how they load the truck. I mean, things you don't really, we just sort of take for granted. For them, it gave them an opportunity and to get cars prepared.
I'll tell you something Tony Stewart just said that really, I never heard it come out and say it like that. He said, we got a chance to look at my notes from my teammate and also look at the Hendrick notes, which means they're tapping into Hendrick Motorsports, the 24, the 48, the 5, 88. And people talk about, going the route of getting engines and cars from Hendrick. But if you have access to crew chief, you can walk in that truck and talk to Chad Canals or talk to Steve Letarte. Is that worth its money in gold? I mean, you tell me.
Open that notebook.
Open the notebook.
Open that laptop.
That's the first time we talk about it. That's the first time I've heard, Tony Stewart come out and say the Hendrick notebook. I mean, that's worth a lot.
Resources. That's what that is.
Yeah.
Getting word that the first car will roll for qualifying at 6:05. More updates headed your way here on Speed. Stay with us. All-Star coverage continues.
That won Talladega with Brad Keselowski in the car. Congratulations on that, James. How has life changed for you since that win?
Oh, it's always been real good, so it's just getting better. But no, everything's good. Brad did a good job. I mean, it's been a real long time trying to win that race, and it's just great.
Tell me about what it's going to change for you as we move forward now. Now that you've won a race, what does that mean to you?
Well, I've won just about every race and every level I've raced, and I always wanted to win a cup race. And I said, well, it doesn't look like it's ever going to happen, but it did, And I said, man, this is great. If I have to quit now, if I don't ever win another one, it was well worth it, all the years I put in racing.
Well, congratulations on that. And we've always enjoyed having you around, and you finally got what's due for you.
There you go. If I can get that million tonight, follow me then.
Okay, yeah, he said you better get a camera if I get the million tonight. Okay, to Bob Dillner.
Randy, we have heard plenty of nicknames for this guy right here. The newest was International Franchise, but I just heard one today, and that's I'm standing here now or sitting with a gold digger. Marcos Ambrose, what's that about?
Oh, be careful how you pronounce that or how you phrase that, but I am a gold digger. I've actually got some gold. You want to see it?
Yes, I do.
I carry around. This is my new collection right here. It's from North Carolina, so it's North Carolina gold. It's actually in a bit of nugget form. And it's a long story how I got hold of that, but it's been a lot of fun. We're going to go out on Sunday, hopefully, if we get the race in on Saturday night and we've got a Sunday off, I might squeeze out last couple of hours of daylight there and see if I can get some more.
He's actually been panning for some gold, and he found those gold nuggets. But the big gold nugget you're trying to get is into that all-star race. And you were decent in practice, but what does it mean to try to get into that all-star race here, Marcos?
Well, it means a lot. I mean, it's a showcase race. We all want to be in the main game. We didn't have a very good practice. For some reason here, we tested here with Goodyear in their tyre test. We're very happy with what we had. Came back here with a slightly different left side tyre, and we just cannot get the shake out of the front tyres. So we've got some work to do tomorrow night, but you've got to be in it to win it, and we're really excited about our chances, but just so excited about our year to date. I mean, we had a great start to our season. Hopefully we can kick it off by making that main race on Saturday night and enjoying it.
Maybe he'll make the main race, Steve, and then after that do a little sifting for some more gold.
Might strike gold here this weekend, Bob. And, Marcos Ambrose has been, we talked about Tony Stewart being a big surprise. I think Marcos Ambrose is maybe story 1A. They have run better than the results indicate. They've had some good runs that went away late.
And one thing that surprised me about him is he's adapted. He's known as a kind of a road course guy, but he's gone to a lot of different kind of racetracks with not a lot of track time, and he's adapted very, very well. But talk about how important tires are. He did the tire test here, and as you heard him say, just a slightly different left side tire, and it basically, after lunch, it got a lot of adjustment to do. So tires, in the combination Goodyear's brought, very, very important.
Marcus Ambrose ran the V8 Supercar Series in Australia, which is all road courses, and I think he won the championship 2 years, and he won like 14 races in each season.
Unbelievable. I mean, he's been great for the sport. I mean,
he is.
Not only because he's not from here, certainly not from Emporia, Virginia, with that accent, but I mean, he's done a lot of good for the sport and goes about things the right way, and he's underrated as a race car driver. I mean, he can get it done.
He's also, I think, he appears to always be happy, which he is, but also what is underrated is his desire.
I mean, yeah, I've been around him some when he hadn't gone well, and he puts on a happy face for the camera, but don't mistake that for him not being competitive. I mean, he wants to get out there and win, and he's starting to really think that, hey, I belong here. So don't be surprised if he sneaks up in here and gets a couple top fives and maybe wins a race real soon.
Hermie, why is it that a guy like Marcus Ambrose, who didn't have as much success in the Nationwide Series, like Jimmy Johnson, but seems to drive or race better in the Cup Series?
It's got a lot to do with, first of all, it helps that you're in a good car, a fast car. Michael Waltrip Racing has come a long ways with their program, and Marcus is reaping some of those benefits, but driving style has a lot to do with it. I mean, if a Cup car's got so much horsepower, if you learn how to feather it down in the corner and let it roll through and can pick up the throttle and drive it with the throttle, so to speak. Jimmy Johnson, if you listen to his in-car stuff here at Lowe's, nobody better than Jimmy Johnson at driving the car with the throttle, and that's what you got to have. Nationwide Series is more flat out. This is more finesse, and that fits Jimmy's driving style.
All right, just want to get you guys updated. Qualifying for the Showdown race has been canceled. They're going to line up tomorrow night in the way they were going to qualify, which is by chance, but we're hoping to get qualifying in for the All-Star race coming up shortly here on Speed. You see the cars being rolled in and out of the garage. Jeff Gordon getting ready to qualify. Stay with us here on Speed.
NASCAR All-Star.
Hey, it's time to qualify for the NASCAR Sprint All-Star Race, the 25th edition of the great event that started back in 1985. Jeff Gordon, a three-time winner here of that race, winning in 1995, 1997, and again in 2001. Steve Burns and Hermie Sadler, and Hermie qualifying for the Showdown, which is the race which two drivers will transfer from to the big race, has been canceled. They're going to set the field based on how they would have gone out to qualify, which is selected by Randy.
I can't ever remember that happening for the Showdown. Qualifying is so important, especially for a short race. I mean, that is truly a short track showdown, only 40 laps. So qualifying really very, very, very key to running up front, especially with this car. I mean, track position is always big. I can't ever remember setting the qualifying order for that. Qualifying for that race is more important than qualifying for the actual All-Star race itself. So kind of a shame that went down like that, but it will provide even more fireworks tomorrow night.
It'll be fun to watch. Let's get an update from the garage and Bob Dillner.
Well, track position is key, and this guy doesn't have it. Scott Speed needs this speed because he starts 20th in that race tomorrow, but we were just talking about this. You're looking forward to it.
I think it's awesome. I mean, there's a bunch of crazies in front of me and a lot of really, really fast guys behind us, so I think it's going to make it really interesting. I don't think I remember a race like this has been so, inverted with, slow and fast cars spread out all over the place. So it'll make it a very interesting first 20 laps for sure.
How was the car in practice, and how much are you looking forward to it, being that there's no points, nothing like that on the line, just money and prestige tomorrow?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I think we were a little bit off in practice. We tried, like you said, it's basically like a free, test race. We tried some stuff that didn't work out, so we're kind of putting it all back for the race, and then we'll see how it goes. But nonetheless, I mean, it's a great opportunity for all of us to get good track time and a little practice race, get some prestige going.
Does it feel like a different event?
Yeah, absolutely. There's less stress. Everyone just hanging out, we're chilling, talking to all the guys. It's easy time at the moment.
I'll tell you what, Randy Pemberton, this guy is going to be fun to watch, coming from 20th tomorrow night to try to make it in those top two spots.
Well, another guy that this is not his first rodeo here for the All-Star race weekend. Bobby, how was your car today? Your thoughts about getting qualified, getting the All-Star race?
Well, it was really tight today in practice, but, it was pretty warm out there. And, I think that made a few changes on it, and we got a little bit better. So, hopefully, obviously, we're not going to practice anymore in the daylight, so hopefully it'll be better for the nighttime run. And, qualifying here shortly if it's not going to rain us out or anything like that, which it doesn't look like it. So we'll see what we got, but probably need more front grip than anything. And hopefully the nighttime air will give us a little bit of that more than more than what we could have done adjustment-wise at the limited practice that we had.
Limited practice also, getting on, getting off of pit road. Not that you don't do it during a race, but a little bit different here. Are you ready for that?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really get to run in hard. I mean, the time we went out there for pit road practice, it was raining, so we couldn't get up to speed. And then we had a flat tire, so we had to really make some changes. So, there was a couple things that kind of left us from doing that. So got to be a little bit more cautious tonight. Either more cautious or don't want to be on the other side of it, done it before, where you get overzealous and try too hard. So try to be as cautious as we can without losing too much time.
All right, get a good, solid qualifying effort. Good luck tomorrow night. All right, Steve?
I thank you very much, Randy. And I love Scott Speed's attitude. He said, there's a bunch of crazies around me.
Didn't we used to have like an inversion?
Yes, we did.
Well, now we got another one.
From the start.
From the start. We're going to invert them right off the bat.
Which means nobody can sandbag because they want an inversion right from the green flag.
I mean, it's just fate. It's the way it goes.
It's for the fans.
It's out of our hands.
It's completely out of our hands.
The fans have their hand on this race. No question.
And we're waiting to hear what's going to happen for, of course, as Bobby Labonte said, it's not raining now. We haven't had rain in quite some time. And, looking at the All-Star winners, as we said earlier, Hermie, 5 different winners over the last 5 races for the All-Star race. And, again, you look at the field. Yeah, I mean, you can look at a Kyle Busch or you can look at a Carl Edwards, somebody who's going to go hard. But, the field's wide open is what I'm trying to say in an inarticulate way.
Well, all these drivers are good, or they wouldn't be here. You take all these cars. Some guys' cars are going to handle better than others. But you put 4 new tires on all these cars, everybody can run pretty good for 10 laps before handling even comes into play. So that last segment is going to be all about speed. All about speed.
Just pull those belts.
On speed.
On speed. Pull those belts tight. All right, stay with us. We'll keep you updated. We'll go up to Mike Joy, Darrell Waltrip, and Larry McReynolds when we come back from commercial.
Wait, look at the covers off those cars, get them through inspection, and get ready to qualify for the NASCAR Sprint All-Star Race right here on Speed. Now, qualifying for the Sprint Showdown has been canceled. The grid will be set by qualifying draw. And forget what we told you earlier about everybody in the Showdown taking home $25,000 or more, because that purse was only set for 33 cars. We have 35, so 2 of these drivers are going to get $5 grand apiece for showing up. Now, Shelmerdine wrecked his car. Carl Long lost an engine, so the 2 cars on the front row will start out back when they get the green flag tomorrow evening here on Speed. So effectively, Stremme and Blaney are going to be our front row.
But how unfortunate can you be? You get a chance to start on the front row in this race, and one wrecks and the other blows up, and they got to start in the back.
But I'm going to tell you what, it's a short race. It's only a 40-lap race, and look at some of the names that are going to be starting near the back. Michael Waltrip, Jamie McMurray, Elliott Sadler. These guys had fast race cars in practice, and look at Brian Vickers and Reed Sorensen. They were pretty quick in practice.
But they will have to start from the back. Jack Roush hoping the rain holds off and we get ready to run this very unique qualifying for the Sprint All-Star Race. 3 laps, including a 4-tire pit stop on at the end of lap 1 or lap 2. Your option, that's the Jeff Burton rule. Your total time determines your starting spot. And pit road penalties will be assessed by adding time to your total. 20 seconds for speeding coming in, no speed limit going out.
And that loose lug nut, all they're going to do is just make sure that the lug nut is in contact with the wheel.
Obviously, the biggest concern is speeding, because that's 20 seconds.
And here's how we'll track it. We'll give you the lap time for lap 1, pit entry, which is from the line in turn 3 to the commit line at the start of pit road. We will measure the pit stop and the pit exit speed at the end of pit road, and then give you the total time.
And the thing about the fast lap is that tells you who's got a fast car.
Yes.
The thing about the total is tells you who has a fast car and a fast pit crew.
And because with the pit road speed is only coming in, you have to maintain the 45 miles per hour, but when they drop the jack, it's as fast as you can get up to speed and get back on the racetrack to complete that last lap.
And that in and of itself is kind of exciting, because you never know when they drop the jack and you take off. Some guys are going to stay on the concrete right up next to the pit wall all the way down to turn 1. Other guys are going to take off and slide out into the pit lane, and we've seen cars fishtail. We've seen cars spin out.
And we've seen cars break the rear end with one wheel on concrete, one wheel on asphalt.
That's not just a stop is challenging. Getting again is pretty challenging too.
But the great thing about this qualifying is it involves the entire team. The driver is a major part, but he's not all of it. The pit crew, you know, they play their role as well. Let's talk to one of the favorites of the 18 drivers who are going to qualify this evening. Here is Dick Berggren.
Yeah, indeed, with Greg Biffle, who finished in the second position last year. See that? We do remember who finished second in the All-Star race. How good is that pit crew of yours?
Oh, they're really good. I mean, I came in third at Darlington, went out leading, and they gave me such a great car. I was able to drive out to about an 8 or 10 second lead. So the guys do a great job on pit road, and I'm excited about this qualifying. The car is not as fast as we were last year here, so we're continuing to work on it, get it a little bit better. A short amount of practice here for this race, but the way the segments are broke up, it'll give us a chance to work on this car during, over the course of the night. Hopefully we're in that top 4 spots when it comes down to 10 to go.
So much of the focus is on the pit crews in qualifying here, but the driver plays a role as well. You have to get off the racetrack without speeding, get down pit road as fast as you can, get out of your pit as fast as you can. How big a role is that?
That is a huge role, and one issue is when you're not that good, you have to work on the car and race trim more than you want to. So I made one attempt at pit road. I never stopped in the pit box and tried to do a burnout or, get up to speed leaving, full speed leaving. So, but I've done it a few years in a row. So this is going to be a little rusty for me on this go around. Great qualifying though. I love this format. It's a lot of fun, and I think the people on TV are really going to enjoy it.
Indeed. Thank you, Mike.
And Mike, what's interesting, it's a 4-tire stop. You're not dumping fuel, but they'll still be using 7 crew members, so that's going to really add a different twist.
So the pit crews are setting up. We will alternate between 2 different pit stalls for the 18 cars that are about to qualify.
The ruggedly re-engineered.
To your order, $5 footlong. And brought to you by Polaris, the hardest working, smoothest riding off-road vehicles, now at your local dealer. And by Toyota. For the latest Toyota racing info, visit toyotaracing.com. Toyota, moving forward. We're moving forward toward qualifying here. NASCAR officials out surveying the track, making sure things are dry after a rain shower that washed out Truck Series qualifying midway and canceled Sprint Showdown qualifying.
Here's our first guy to go out, Jeff Gordon, but I picked up an interesting little kind of note from Greg Biffle's interview there. Sounds to me like he thinks in that 10 laps, you better be in the top 4 if you're going to have a shot at winning it.
And I agree, but because I think, Darrell, we see it all the time, and you get that track position. Remember, all the restarts are double file, and those guys up there at the front get that track position. 10 laps to go by in a hurry.
Bobby Labonte waiting his turn, getting a few chuck points. Now, one thing that will change as qualifying goes on is the amount of rubber down on pit road coming out of the 2 pit stalls, number 17 and 19, that they will use during the competition. And for that reason, we kind of feel that the cars that go later will have an advantage in the launch leaving their pit.
Yeah, I think if we look at pit road, Jack Roush is studying that out his car. But all this got some rubber here laid down now, but all the way down pit road as this thing progresses, there will be more and more rubber all the way to the end, and that's really going to help traction, just like a drag race.
And the last car to qualify was second fastest in practice. That is Kyle Busch.
And we got to the 24. He's rolling out on pit road.
And they're using 2 different pit boxes. Pit 17, pit 19. They'll alternate back and forth. Those are 2 pit boxes that are roughly right in the middle of the pit road.
And I just don't think I'd want to be the first guy to go out right now. I mean, we've had a little bit of rain. They've dried the track. Pit road, I guess, is in pretty good shape right now, but I wouldn't want to be the guy to go out first.
Now, they instituted the Jeff Burton rule a couple of years ago because Jeff Burton and his crew chief Frankie Stoddart had it figured out. In this 3-lap qualifying where you had to make a pit stop, wasn't it Jeff Burton that came into the pits on the end of his last lap, did the stop, crawled across the line, and finished his time?
He actually did that in a segment of the race.
That's right.
Yeah.
But the rule, it's still his rule.
Yes.
So you have to stop on lap 1 or lap 2.
And it was brilliant when they did it that night. It was absolutely
brilliant. What do you say, Darrell? Better to be a rule maker than a rule breaker.
You got it.
Now, this is something we don't get to enjoy a lot. A qualifying lap while we ride along.
And I know if you watch our practice show, whoa,
yuck.
That's a sad sight.
Sometimes you're the windshield, sometimes you're the bug.
We can get rid of that, can't we? Maybe not. Green flag for Jeff Gordon.
And of course, like I said in the opening there, this first lap is just to see who has a fast car, because sometimes you can make up enough time out there on the racetrack that, you know, maybe a one loose penalty you can overcome.
Jeff Gordon is the youngest driver to win the All-Star race. He got his first victory in it when he was 23.
Oh, he had to get out
really get out of the throttle. Big
That's what I was afraid of.
I'm going to tell you what, this old racetrack's got some grip in her, and that was with getting out of the throttle. We'll have to see what the official time is, but I had down in the 28s.
Yep. He was 198 going into the corner. Yikes.
199 that time. And he's coming to pit road. Up the hill just a little bit. 3, 2, 1. Line.
Now, they do not have to add fuel.
Put them all the way down here.
The fueler and catch can men are allowed to go over the wall. Still 7 men to service the car.
You are 5.
And Matt Yoakum.
And Clay Robinson and Mike Tiny Houston will go to work on the front. The changer and carrier, one of the longest pairings together as they index that. Mike, a former professional wrestler, the tire carrier on the front. And we got to give an attaboy to Timmy Latiga, the rear tire changer. Today, his 42nd birthday. He's away.
Looked a little slow on the right front.
Hard.
A lot of wheel spin, it seemed like.
Yeah. Watch him come up on the track. Well, he's already up on the track. A lot of times you get real bad loose.
His speed in was good. No penalty there. And no penalty on the pit stop.
And when he comes around, he will get the checkered flag to complete his 3 laps.
Man, no motor is working.
The car was really good. Got tied up at 4 coming to that first lap.
That's the reason he had to get back out of the throttle. And I think it's because he's carrying a lot more speed than he ever thought about carrying in practice.
Plus, you just don't know what, you know, the track first car out since we've had there hadn't been cars on the track for a while, so might have been a little lack of grip there, but it made up for it in a hurry.
Total time 2 minutes 4.34 seconds. That's an average speed of 130.287 with the pit stop. Greg Biffle, the 3M Ford Fusion from Roush Fenway, will be next. Biffle was 6th quickest in practice. Jeff Gordon had the 5th fastest single lap of practice.
And just, I mean, Greg Biffle just left pit road. I mean, full bore.
Oh, yeah. Now, you see the cat in the hat on the right. I was watching on Speed a race of stock-bodied road race cars, and there was a Roush Mustang out front, and the driver was Jack Roush Jr.
Wow.
Boy, he was doing a heck of a job.
Now, unofficially, Jeff Gordon's first lap on the racetrack, I had a 28.62. And that right there is well over a second of any lap that he ran in practice. For that matter, I'll right out a second faster than almost anybody else ran in practice.
Oh, that's getting serious.
Why do we expect all the drivers will pit on lap 2 instead of lap 1?
You want to take advantage of these 4 tires that are on the car, because this is what the car was tuned to right here. And you want to get full advantage of coming to the green, the first full lap, and even through 1 and 2 coming around. And right there, 28.46 was the first lap on that 16 car.
That's majorly fast.
So here's Biffle, and you see the 3, 2, 1 marks on the pavement there, 3 there, 2,
3 red
and
lights.
there 1.
3 red lights.
To help him come in.
3 red lights on his dash. Tells him that he's at pit road speed.
On the sign, no adjustments, 4 tires, 4 tires.
He wasn't near as quick coming through 3 and 4 coming to pit road as Jeff Gordon.
And he stopped, I think, a little short of the sign. We'll double check that, but it looked like the team had to take 1 stutter step back to get into position.
On the concrete, leaving, all you got, all the way out, 15 boxes, say on the concrete,
Man, he's lighting them up.
And And you saw as he grabbed a gear, the car fishtailed just a bit.
119 miles per hour leaving pit road as he got back out up on the racetrack.
No speeding penalties coming in. And no penalties on the stop. You saw him shaking the car a bit in the backstretch. Looks like he's going to dislodge Jeff Gordon from the front spot. And does. 2 minutes 1.517 for Greg Biffle, 133.3 miles an hour. And you're right, Larry. Jeff Gordon a little quicker getting to pit road from turn 3.
But the pit stop on the 16 in lap 1 was quicker, as well as leaving pit road on the 16.
Yeah, a little in the bank right there off of that first lap.
Dick Berggren?
Well, Jeff Gordon was the first man on the racetrack after the rainstorm. What's it like out there?
I had a lot of grip. We made some big improvements to the car. I actually had to lift off the 4 for the lap, so I was a little disappointed in that, but all in all, I felt like it was still a pretty good lap. Got to pit road really good. I think our stop was off a little bit, and I spun the tires a little bit too much leaving, but all in all, I mean, this thing's gotten so competitive. It's amazing just how tight and how close it is. And there's a lot of things you got to get right. So all in all, it's been a pretty good day for DuPont Chevrolet. I feel like we're going to be really good tomorrow night.
Good. We'll look forward to that. Mike?
Yeah, he had a little trouble on the right front. The right front tire changer on that pit stop.
Bobby Labonte started 10th, finished 12th last year. He's been in 14 NASCAR All-Star races and finished second twice. And twice he has won the pole.
Yeah, 1995 and 1999 he sat on the pole for this race. Just don't think he's in the throttle near as much.
Loose lug nut on Greg Biffle, so he will have a 5-second penalty. That'll put Jeff Gordon back up in the top spot.
Bobby's first lap, I actually, on my stopwatch, almost a second slower than Greg Biffle's first lap.
Labonte was 11th of 18 in practice.
Labonte's car's way up the hill there. He looks like he can't get down to the bottom with it. Slowing down way early here compared to the first two.
He was actually quicker than Greg Biffle, but not near as quick as Jeff Gordon.
Jeff really singed her in there off the 4.
So here's the Ask.com Ford. Matt?
Mike, Max Jones, co-owner, looking on as the 96 comes to a stop. Sean Irvin, the Jackman, got the right side up. DW, Larry, Mike, I ask you, how did it look on the right side?
Looked pretty clean and solid. Pretty mistake-free. See what the miles per hour will show here. Greg Biffle was 119.
One thing I did like there was Bobby got all the way over 4 wheels on the asphalt before he shifted and avoided that rear end trouble that way.
You can see he was 5 miles per hour slower at the exit of pit road than Greg Biffle.
Yeah, you just don't really know what the car's going to do when you drop the clutch on it like that and start down through there. Sometime it'll hook up. Sometimes you got to play with the throttle.
Nice shot, buddy.
And Labonte right now is second. Over 3 laps in a pit stop. He's 100th of a second slower than Jeff Gordon.
That's amazing.
Under the lights right here at Lowe's Motor Speedway, the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series tonight, 7:30 p.m. Be there. Denny Hamlin for Joe Gibbs Racing started 20th last year, but had engine trouble. Typical of the Gibbs cars last year.
Yeah, they come over here loaded for Bear, but unfortunately the Bear got them.
This will be Denny's 3rd appearance in NASCAR's All-Star event. No penalties on Bobby Labonte. He stands second to Jeff Gordon right now. And
this pit crew that he's going to come down pit road on this lap to, they were pretty solid in that pit crew challenge last night. The 31 car Richard Childress Racing won that competition, but this 11 went all the way to the semifinals.
Hamlin last year was too fast entering the pit, received a penalty.
I think he's all right today.
Yeah. Here comes the FedEx Camry to Mike Ford and crew.
Yeah, he's about the third quickest as far as getting to pit road out of our 4 cars, as far as what I can clock.
Matt?
And Mike Ford calling Denny Hamlin to a stop. Mike Hicks, Jonathan Sherman, Nate Boland, Scott Wood, the Gas Man, John Eichert, Ketchcan, Brandon Pegram, and Heath Cherry. The gentleman's service in the 11 car. Solid stop so far. You can see he caught a little bit of the rocker panel on the left side. The side skirt, he's away. How did it look on the right side, guys?
Right side looked pretty good. Looked a little slow on the left, though.
But Denny
he's got trouble.
He had wheel spin all the way through first gear, and Darrell, I think he had that straddle when he shifted between the concrete on the left side, the asphalt on the right side.
He broke it.
And that's that.
Obviously, it'll be something in the running gear, transmission, something of that nature.
Let's have a look at Denny Hamlin leaving the pit. Watch that right rear spinning all the way through first gear. And when he shifts, he had his lefts on the concrete, right on the asphalt. Boom.
It's a universal joint.
Sounds like they think it's a universal joint.
Now here's going to be the issue or the decision that they'll have to make, which they're going to be at the back anyhow. I would say they'll probably end up changing that engine too.
Because when that joint let go, it likely over-revved.
There's no telling how many RPM that engine turned. You know, Mike, while we're watching this car being pushed in, I think I need to expand a little more about what you asked me a while ago about pitting lap 1, lap 2. Yeah. Lowe's Motor Speedway, it's a momentum racetrack. You really got to hustle to get back around here to be up to speed when you take the green flag. So I think you just really want to leave pit road hard, get that first lap out on the racetrack, and then the next 3/4 of a lap, and then all you have to worry about is getting to pit road and getting off pit road back up to speed to take the checkered flag.
Yeah, well, I really think, though, your explanation was more right when about the tires.
Yeah.
You want to use those 4 tires. They're brand new. You want to use those 4 to get that good fast lap. Then you're going to come in the next time by and you're going to get you 2 rights. And so they may not.
Well, they're actually changing.
All right,
4. Yeah, they're actually changing
tires,
4.
But you're not going to get the advantage of those first 4 if you come in early.
Exactly.
But I like Larry's second point. When you come to the line to get the green, you're at full speed.
Oh, yeah.
So you go around, you got a full speed lap, and then you can make a second full speed lap. But when you leave the pits on that lap, you're at 0.
Oh, yeah.
So that's going to be a slow lap, and are you going to be all the way at full speed when you get back? I don't know. It's coin toss. Ryan Newman. Here comes the Rocket Man, driving for the U.S. Army.
You know what I always say about a lot of those kind of things? There's some really smart people down there, and they're all doing it the same way. So that must be the right way to do it.
Ryan, the All-Star winner in 2002. This will be his 8th All-Star appearance. He won the No Bull Sprint, went on to win the Winston in his rookie year.
I was going to say, when he won the race that year, he didn't have to worry about disqualifying because he didn't participate in it. Transferring.
He got close to that outside wall getting into turn 1. I know that.
He arced her down in there, didn't he?
Crew Chief Tony Gibson keeping a keen eye.
Ryan really didn't run a fast lap in practice. His fastest lap was a 30.02. He did not even run in the 29-second bracket.
Yeah, he was 10th fastest.
He really takes a high entry into the corners and really swings it down. And this guy knows how to qualify here.
They're unofficially, that's right at the fastest lap that I have seen out of these first 4 or 5 cars. They had a 28.38.
I think Ryan Newman will be a man to be dealt with next week when we get ready to qualify. See how high he gets into the corner and then really sweeps it to the bottom. Now he's carrying a lot of speed right here. He's going to have to hustle to get that thing wound up, and you can see he's smoking the tires.
It's all right, as long as you get down so that first segment time doesn't go over 50 miles an hour.
Well, if he didn't speed, that's by far the quickest anybody got through 3 and 4.
You know what? I'm okay with that, though. I'd rather see you try really hard and get it in there a little hot than I had to see you creep down pit road.
Matt?
Mike Trower on the right front. We've got issues. Trower, one of the original Rainbow Warriors, lost a lot of time there. They're not going to be happy with this time.
That's a shame. He had a great lap, got in well. That smoke you see coming off the car is not from the tires. That's from the cockpit.
Not a very good exit speed either. I think when that happens right there, that pretty much just knocks the wind out of the sails the rest of the run.
Ruins the whole run.
But he got through 3 and 4 coming to pit road.
And if he just makes no mistakes and no speeding, we're told, no pit road penalty.
Let's see how that fares.
And that'll put him ahead of the people who do make mistakes. And last year there were 6 of those. So 2:06, 2 minutes, 6.519. That's 2 seconds slower than
Look at
our
that.
top 2.
The lap and pit entry, just as we anticipated. The quickest of anybody. The pit stop, pit exit, the slowest of the 5 cars.
Fast car, slow crew.
Stewart's crew getting set to go. That'll be the next car in All-Star qualifying. Last year, Tony started 12th, finished 15th. This will be his 11th All-Star appearance. He finished 2nd in 1999. He has been the leader at the end of different segments of the race on 3 occasions. Has yet to win the finale. In 99, he won the Showdown to transfer in. Went on to finish 2nd to Terry Labonte.
When he comes to pit road, there you see Greg Newman, Ryan's dad, talking to Ryan. But back to Tony Stewart, when he comes to pit road, that pit crew, Tony Stewart's crew was pretty solid last night. They went to the semifinals.
They had to clean up a little debris on pit road from Denny Hamlin's drive shaft problem. Last year, 6 drivers had problems and penalties in qualifying, including crew over the wall too soon, 2 lug nut violations, 2 drivers too fast entering, and 1, Jimmy Johnson, who pitted out of his box.
Way out of his box.
And ended up starting last as a result.
That was Darren Grubb we were looking at there, Tony's crew chief, and I tell you, they've done a phenomenal job with this Stewart-Haas operation.
2nd in the points.
Tony's warming those tires up, leaving pit road here on his get-up-to-go lap.
Living up to his nickname, Smoke.
Smoke.
It had to make the Stewart-Haas group feel so good at Darlington to have both those cars, Ryan Newman and Tony Stewart, finish in the top 5 the first time this year.
3rd and 4th.
Man, those engines are singing when they go by here. Got a little smoke off the right front getting into one there. Looks like it dipped over a little bit.
Well, Darryl, you just think about it. We're seeing cars run over a second faster than they ran in practice. More speed, more travel.
That's right. I think I saw a little smoke again out of it down there in 3 and 4.
Let's see what Tony can run on his first lap. His teammate Ryan Newman ran a 28.38. Tony about a half a second slower than that. I had a 28.81.
This time.
I believe Tony got woed down a little quicker than Ryan Newman.
It'd be hard to beat Ryan Newman for entry.
I would say so, and not be speeding.
Not be speeding. That was a nice one.
All right, the Old Spice Chevy is headed for Matt.
Joe Piet, the crew chief, the pit crew coordinator here at Stewart-Haas Racing. The cars back to back. He's on the turn 4 side of the box, timing this stop. Now, Big Jeff Gooch.
We got a miscue here.
Big big.
Smoke thought they were doing 2 tires.
I'll be right back.
You gotta admire his sense of humor. Okay,
Now we're
let's
back to the
change
left side.
the other two. And he is in the box, so
You're good.
everything's okay.
Look at it. Darren's even got a little smirk on his face. It's like, what are you going to do?
Apparently, they forgot to tell him they were going to change all 4 tires. You know, sometimes you have to remind the driver what you're going to do.
And I kind of wondered about that when they said pit this time. It's like, well, you know you're going to pit this time, but you're right, Darrell. It never hurts to tell them what you want to do and then tell them what you want to do.
I'll go one step further. I saw Rocky Ryan, Jeff Burton's crew chief, on the elevator. I said, where are you going? He said, Jeff Burton wants me up there doing all the same things that I will do in race conditions under a green flag stop. He said, I want him to tell me pit next time, just like they do in the race.
Talk about that. No, one thing we're not going to talk about 2 versus 4.
You know, you're concentrating and trying so hard to get everything just right and to be fast. Boom! He's fast.
Hey, look at that.
Where did he go?
Where did he go? What is he thinking?
I'm telling you what, he's lucky he didn't
Yeah, but I mean,
somebody.
Well, it was a perfect exit. Everybody's away from the car. Oops, except the jack man.
And they all turn around and say, hey, Smoke, did you forget something?
You know what? If I was on this crew, I believe I'd have a meeting with the owner on Monday morning and ask me what to do with this driver.
Oh, you know, jack man was really him.
Well, he was kind of caught out of position.
Hey, I'll be right back.
That was the best part. Might as well laugh about it.
In case we didn't mention, Tony's time's actually the slowest of the cars that's qualified.
Oh, thanks, Larry. He'll love to hear that.
Just thought I would add that.
Kevin Harvick in the Pennzoil Chevy last year started 16th, finished 11th. This will be his 9th All-Star appearance. He won it in 2007, finished 4th in the first segment, 3rd in the second, 4th in the third, and then went on to victory and won $1 million.
Gil Martin, crew chief, looking on as Kevin will complete lap 1. It didn't look fast, and it wasn't fast there. About a 29.41.
And it doesn't sound fast. Sometimes I know I'm critical of the children's cars and how they sound, and today that one didn't sound so sharp.
No penalties on Tony Stewart other than self-inflicted.
That's right.
Don't believe he's going to be very fast getting on the pit road.
I think he's
one light.
Not very happy.
I know he wasn't very happy with that car in practice today either.
4 tires go on the jack.
All right, here comes the Pennzoil Chevy, Matt.
Mike sporting new yellow Pennzoil uniforms for this special All-Star Weekend event. Work going on the left side. Ryan Pepe and Jake Lynn, son of longtime RCR employee, one of the flying aces, Will Lynn. The jack going up on the left side. How'd it look on the right side, boys?
Pretty solid, Matt.
Maybe it's a little slow on the right front, but no, I don't think there's any problem.
I like what they're doing where the 2 extra crew members that normally would fill the position of the fueler and the catch can man are instead being the tire removers. The tire carrier brings the new tire into position and puts it on, so the tire changer can wrench it home with the air wrench, while the other 2 crew members are removing the old tires, pulling them away.
Yeah, basically the tire changer almost never has to touch the tire.
Nice duty. Kevin Harvick third, 2 minutes, 4.741 seconds. So even with all of this tire changing and getting on and off pit road, the top 3 are within 0.4 of a second.
Pretty good stop.
Looked like the pit stop did the trick for those boys.
Very good. Dick Bergman.
Got a little bit tight the first lap.
Well, Tony Stewart pulled into this area with a smile on his face. Still got a smile on his face. What happened?
I'm just praying that Dale Jr. will do what he's been doing all year and miss the box. That way I won't feel so bad. But it's going to be hard with only 1 stick out there. But no, I have no idea. I think I was so keyed up to go that I just screwed up with the jack when I went. So at least let the tire changer clear. I rolled the jack man down the side for the 2nd straight week. But that was Darian's call last week. It was my screw up this week. So I don't know. I've got nothing for this one.
Good enough, Tony Stewart. Thank you.
Well, at least he can laugh about it.
Yeah,
Good thing.
that's about all you can do.
Last year, Dale Earnhardt Jr. started 11th and finished 8th. This will be his 10th All-Star appearance. He was the winner in 2000, the first Rookie of the Year to win the All-Star race.
Well, he's hugging that white line. He's actually right on it.
Got back in the throttle real nice in the hard. I don't know how that's going to translate for his lap.
I had about a 29.05 right in there.
And that's way off
compared to these mid-28s.
That's the JR Motorsports Foundation on the hood of Junior's car in a National Guard paint scheme that he designed himself. The all-white, right down to the skirts look.
I think this car is going to look really good at night. I think it's really going to come alive.
Pretty decent time getting in.
All right, here comes the National Guard Chevy. Matt.
Mike Kip Wolfmeyer and Greg Burkhart will be the tire changers, and watch for the Jackman, Big Mark Jacobs. If he looks like he probably played football at one point, he did. He was a college football player. Looks solid going on the right side. Mark comes around to the left, hits the jack post, pump and a half, it's up. A little bit of trouble on the left front. He's away.
He didn't get going very good when the car moved forward. It kind of sat there and spun for just a little bit.
See how those guys, you really have to fight that thing when you're coming down pit road like that under power.
116, that's still nothing like Greg Biffle's 119. But that's the same speed that Tony Stewart was off pit road.
Fastest so far. No penalties.
How about 196 miles per hour getting off into turn 3, getting back up to speed?
That's just, that's getting up to speed.
Gonna like this one.
He goes to the top.
Dale Jr.
Wow.
By quite a bit.
I'll be on the pole, bud. Good job.
Let's see how he did that, Larry.
Awesome.
By more than a second.
Car drove real good.
It wasn't the first lap that did it, but pretty much from turn 3 through the pit stop and leaving seems to be what shot him up there.
You know, on the track, you can just lose hundreds. Getting in on pit road and then the pit stop itself where you lose a lot of time. So obviously they did a good job there. He's coming, baby. I saw him fighting that thing.
Correct myself, it's the Dale Jr. Foundation on the hood, not Junior Motorsports, but the Junior logo adorns the hood there, and these boys will have something to celebrate tonight, and it's been a while since they could. So,
well, we're getting close to halfway through this qualifying session. They're on top of the board right now.
I honestly believe that it's going to get faster. Mainly because I think pit road will get better, and I believe the track will too. So we'll see how it turns out here.
Now that engine is screaming, and we know everybody's pretty much got the same gear.
You watch this guy. He never gets off that white line. Matter of fact, he'll go under it if he can.
This will be Mark's 20th All-Star appearance, tying Terry Labonte for the most. He won it in '98 and 2005.
Love that entry into turn 3. Arced it down in there, right in the center on the white line. Nice exit off turn 4. This should be a pretty nice lap.
28.72.
Yeah, not bad. Not the fastest, but not bad.
Mark with 2 wins this year. His last multiple win season 10 years ago.
That's hard to believe.
Yeah. There, he looked a little loose that time in the middle of 1 and 2, like the car really pivoted.
Well, he carried a lot of speed through the middle of 3 and 4. Let's see if he can get her woed down.
I think he did.
That's a good entrance time right there.
That looked really nice. The old veteran, the master at the wheel.
10 away, about 10. About 10 away, about 10.
5, 4, 3. Got to remind him it's 4 tires, but
that stopped a little bit short. That just throws the timing of the crew off.
Yeah. Matt?
Absolutely, Larry Mack. And you had Dion Williams, the rear tire carrier, former football star at Wake Forest. Those guys then had to change their pivot point when they jumped down off the wall because they had to go around the back of the car.
She bogged down a little bit with these.
Stayed on the concrete.
Hold on to her, Mark. Hold on to her.
That was exciting.
Boy, he's got his hands full.
You can see how much it hurt his pit exit speed.
Well, he kind of bogged back here. When the thing really started to go, though, it came on all at once.
Remember what Mark said after he won that first race this season? I don't do burnouts.
No burnouts for me. He just about did one whether he wanted to or not.
Well, he's working on joining Dale Earnhardt Jr. on the front row. But I think what's going to keep him off the pole is leaving pit road.
Yeah, I think you're right.
No penalties, but he's 4/10 slower than Junior, 7/10 faster than Jeff Gordon.
And he was 12 miles an hour slower at the exit of pit road, so that was the difference.
If he could have just gotten off of
Yeah,
pit
buddy,
road.
we're second right now. I think it's clean. It looked good.
Look at those right there.
Yep.
Tied for first. Let's show you that.
I killed this man leaving the pits. I killed him.
Mark will beat himself up the rest of the week over that. Thing bogs down right here. Just quits. Then when it does light up, hold on to your helmet. Whoa, one left, one right.
Darryl, you know one thing that I see these guys doing real quick before we go to Dick? They're pulling tape off while they're on pit road during that stop. They've got it taped up for that first lap, Dick.
Yeah, with Dale Earnhardt Jr., everything seemed to work just incredibly well, but you said it was a little bit tough to hang on to.
Well, just pulling out of your pit stall all the way into fourth gear, that you're just spinning the tires. We're trying not to spin the tires, but they're spinning. And that thing's a handful all the way through the racetrack, so it's fun, though. I think that's since we went to this format, I think it might have been the best I've ever done here. We always kind of screwed it up somewhere, but we put it all together, it seems like, and that should give us a pretty decent spot.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. on the pole so far, Mike.
Very good run as Carl Edwards completes his first lap.
Pit this time, bud. Pit this time, 44.50.
Edwards in his 4th All-Star race. Last year finished 10th after leading the second segment.
Darryl, his first lap, nothing spectacular. He was in the 28s. I had a 28.93.
Oh boy, coming in there pretty hot.
I would say so. He's going to be right there at one of the fastest getting on to pit road.
Pretty hot to me. Hear the tires squealing.
Matt?
Stop on the side, bud.
Well, watch the stop and also watch his exit. Earlier, he told us he was going to use the concrete all the way out for his exit to light him up. Solid stop, very clean so far. Indexes, hits the lungs.
That's a heck of a stop right there.
Very solid stop right there.
Got that car going pretty good, too.
All the way around. Get the line.
Watch her coming up on the track right here. He did a nice job. I tell you, that's good in, good out right there.
Pretty good exit speed.
And that looked to me like the fastest pit stop.
And that was the fastest entrance speed, too, so far. And I think everything's kind of stacking up here and adding up.
It's all looking that way, isn't it? Look at Carl up on the wheel. You talk about getting up on the wheel. That's what he does.
No penalties for Carl Edwards.
He goes to the top.
Man.
Oh, boy. He
2
killed.
minutes.
P1, great job. Great job, boys.
All right.
1.8. He dusts Dale Jr. by a second and a half.
When you hear Bob Osborne, that's a good job right there.
He doesn't get that excited much.
No, baby.
Already around to the left side. Jackman Bill Ferguson. About 2 pumps, the car's up. Oh. Lost about a split second there, half second or so.
Now, he didn't get going very good either. It bogged down.
It bogged way down, too.
This will be Boyer's 3rd All-Star race. He finished 13th last year after starting 9th.
And that is definitely one of the slowest exit speeds next to Mark Martin's. Of course, we know why Mark.
And Clint Boyer is too fast entering the pits. Speeding is, what, 20 seconds?
20 seconds.
Yeah. Yikes.
You know, every year when we do this, we have somebody that just doesn't get anything right. The entrance, the pit stop, the exit.
And he was 50.06. Pit road speed is 45 miles per hour, but just like in a race, they give you the 5 miles per hour. So he was 0.06 over what they already give him.
Dick?
With Carl Edwards, who's still trying to figure out how there could have been that many loose lug nuts. What do you think happened there?
Well, I think those lug nuts have to be screwed all the way tight. Otherwise, NASCAR gives you 5 seconds apiece. We had 3 of them, they said. So 15 seconds, but it's kind of a little mini version of how our season's going so far. We've got fast enough race cars. We've got guys that care about it, but we just got little things like that. So, you know, it's good that we're that fast, and hopefully it's good because hopefully those are the only mistakes they make the next couple weeks here at Lowe's. They're a great bunch of guys. They've been working hard, and it felt good while it was up there.
Also good is the race has been won from the back, so there you go.
Yes. Told you he had a fast pit stop, though. That was about the fastest stop we saw.
Jimmy Johnson, the only repeat winner of the All-Star race in the last 10 years. 7 All-Star appearances, an average finish of 5th. He won it in 2003 and 2006.
I'm anxious to see what this lap will be, Larry.
Yeah, because he had the fastest single lap in that one practice that we had earlier today.
Looks to me like she's ginning around there pretty good.
28:34. I think that will be the fastest lap that we've had, just a little faster than Ryan Newman. Now that's unofficial. That's me and my stopwatch. End of his run, we'll know exactly how it stacks up.
And that's pretty accurate because you don't have a car in this race, so you're given pretty honest times.
I don't have that crew chief.
So I have that fast crew chief watch. Ooh, get her down, get her down. He got it, he got it.
Nice and in the air. Watch that tack.
It wasn't a great entrance, though. It wasn't up there with what we've seen some of these guys.
All right, here comes the Lowe's Cobalt Tools Chevy. Here's Matt.
Turn in, turn in, turn in, turn in. Wheel straight, foot on the...
Made a mistake-free stop here by the Lowe's guys. Mikey Lingerfelt, the front changer, already done. He's hitting the left front lugs now. Jeremy West in the back.
Had a little trouble on the right rear, man.
A little bit on the rear.
Go, go, go. Dig, dig, dig.
That baby's getting out of there. I like the way he came out of there. Oh, yeah.
Look at that speed right there, 119 miles an hour.
He got out of here better than anybody I've seen so far.
I think with the first lap that he ran, he actually got back around to turn 3 quick. I think that's kind of all stacking up right here.
No penalties yet on Jimmy Johnson. With the penalties that have been taken, Dale Earnhardt Jr. is still on the pole until now. 2:01:41 for Jimmy Johnson.
That's almost 2 seconds faster than his teammate Dale Earnhardt Jr.
And I tell you, Larry, he did a lot of that damage leaving the pit road.
Did exit first. Lap 1 first, and that is the fastest unadjusted time of the competition so far.
Guys, good job. Good work.
Pretty amazing right there. Be like a lot of other times, if you can beat that, we'll just get something.
On Thursday, Wrecked returns to speed. When motorists wreak havoc in the heart of the Windy City, only one company can bring Chicago back to life. Get hooked all over again on Wrecked. Life in the Crash Lane. New season Thursday only on Speed. Casey Kane in the Bud Train. Started 24th last year, finished first after getting voted in. Every year he has been in the Sprint Cup Series. He has been in the All-Star race. That's 5 of them so far.
This will be the first Dodge to qualify. We only have 2 Dodges, 2 Toyotas, 4 Fords, and 10 Chevrolets.
I like the way he runs this racetrack. You know, everybody hunts the bottom or they get up around the top, which he likes the top too.
Well, he was back to that top.
He really has got a unique way of getting around here. It's always real fast.
28.77, an okay lap.
Where I see him different than everybody else is in 1 and 2. He always rides almost like the middle of 1 and 2.
Got back around to turn 3 pretty quick. He'll be coming to pit road this time. Looks pretty solid.
Awful hard on the brake before he dropped down onto the flat. Did a lot of his braking still up in the corner.
Yeah, and I think that really hurt him. Yeah. Really hurt him right as he came off the racetrack.
Get away. Keep on coming.
Matt?
And jackman Eric Wilson. You can see Casey went about 2, maybe 3 steps a little bit deeper in the box. They had to adjust for that. Big Tank Probus, the gas man, like Larry Mack mentioned, utilizing people in different ways. He's now pulling tires. He pulled the left rear, and Casey's away.
All right, hard out. That big push he got for Tank, that'd be worth the 10%.
Should be a mile or 2 per hour.
Ought to be.
She just bogged down too much, though, out of the hole.
Yeah, you can see 111. That right there itself is 8 miles per hour slower than Jimmy Johnson.
But if he just has a mistake-free run, that'll be good for the top 7.
He's just going to be, looks like, just outside the top 5, Mike, about what you said, 6th, 7th, about mid-pack right now.
6th for Casey Kane, 2:04.62. 5 drivers to go. Jimmy Johnson fastest. Last year started 14th and finished 3rd. This will be his 9th All-Star appearance as the 2004 winner.
It's not going to be a very good first lap. His car really climbed the hill bad over in turn 2. Yeah, that's going to flirt with being about one of the slowest first laps that we've seen.
Kenseth's been on the pole twice. Looked like he had a little bobble there in turn 2. The back end started to get out from under it.
Yeah, I don't think he's happy with the handling of the car.
But now, this is where this bunch normally shines.
Well, he's coming down there good and fast. He wheel hopped it. He was so fast.
That was a great pit entrance.
But he had that rear wheels hopping. I know that.
He hot rodded it in there. So the DeWalt Ford comes to the attention of the Killer Bees, Matt.
And the Bees jump off the wall. Matt keyed the mic on the radio on the backstretch and said, man, it is very loose.
Yeah.
Justin noticed that. He's already done on the front, coming around to the left front. How'd the right side look, guys?
Around as quick as we've seen, really.
Look great. I'm liking it.
Well, let's give Matt some of the credit for that fast pit stop, because when that car came to a halt, the jack post on the chassis was aligned exactly with the jack. He put it spot on.
Yeah, not a good exit, though. Just too much wheel spin. He was kind of riding that line between 2 wheels and the asphalt and 2 in the concrete.
You see right there, Darrell, he's just outside the front row right now. He's flirting with second, and where the difference is going to be is getting on the pit road and that pit stop.
That's going to be close. Tractor keeps moving back and
forth. He's going to break up this little Hendrick brigade, though, at the top 4.
Yeah, we had Johnson, Earnhardt, Martin, and Gordon. That was our top 4. Matt's in there now.
Now, the reason the tracker was jumping back and forth is Kenseth is 8/100ths of a second quicker than Dale Jr.
Bad fast pit stop.
Dick?
When Jimmy Johnson and every other driver got out of his car and talked to the media, Jimmy Johnson didn't. He ran over to his pit box where his crew was and congratulated each and every crew member. Was that run about as close to perfect as one could be?
It was good. I feel like we did a really, really good job. I think there is a little bit of speed out there. I didn't feel like I was as clean as I needed to be once I got down to pit road speed to the box. Our stop was good, but there might be, for a night like tonight, somebody might be able to get a little bit more there. But I'm so proud of our guys and the effort they put in. Tonight we made no mistakes, solid race car, solid stops. I did my part, and I think the worst case we'd be second. I think that 18 is going to be awfully fast on the track, but just so proud of these guys, and hopefully we can get it here at Lowe's Motor Speedway.
Congratulations. Nice job at your house.
Thank you.
Great run. Now here is Jeff Burton, who started 7th, finished 20th last year. He'll be in his 12th All-Star race. He was 4th fastest in practice, and his pit crew were the big winners last night.
Yes, they were. They won that sprint pit crew challenge last night in Uptown Charlotte. 24 teams going at it. Not a great first lap, 29-12. And one thing every week we talk about qualifying, what it does for you is pit selection. Well, these guys will get the #1 pit selection regardless, because that's part of what winning that competition last night did for this group.
What they need to do is let Kim Burton drive the thing down pit road with them pushing it. He'd get a great exit time, I bet you.
It's going to be a pretty good pit entrance.
Oh, he got it. He got it.
That was a great pit entrance.
He was good to the line, too.
way sharper turn-in than anybody we've seen yet. All right, here comes the Cat Chevy, Matt.
They looked great last night, trying to back it up again tonight. Now, Kurt Bowman, the gas man, he'll be helping out on the front of the cars. Burton comes to a stop. We heard Rocky Ryan on the radio, so true to form, he called Burton to pit road. Fowler helping out.
Driver wants to go. Oh, they just barely got the jack out from under there because Burton was leaving.
Now, he got off the concrete immediately all the way to the outside of pit road.
Just don't think that's the way to go.
And you can see 110 miles per hour. Remember, Jimmy Johnson was 119.
Just way too much wheel spin when you do it that way. The traction's in the concrete.
I think if he stays in the top 5, which he's flirting with it right now, a big part of it was going to be how he got from turn 3 to pit road.
Yeah, he got on really well, but...
Well, he got in there quick, Larry.
Too well. We knew he got in well.
Too well. 20-second penalty for too fast entering the pits will take Jeff Burton down from 5th with a base time of 2 minutes 3.75, and they did have the quickest pit stop, but to no avail. Dick?
With Matt Kenseth, it seems when pit crews are involved in the race, you always shine. What is it about this pit crew that makes them so good?
Oh, they do a good job. They work really hard at it. You know, they take a lot of pride in having good pit stops, you know, on these kind of days and on race days. So it was pretty solid. We've been really good this year. They obviously won a couple races for us, has us in contention to win, and we've been a little more inconsistent than we like, but they've been working really hard on it, and our cars have been getting better. Our pit stops are getting better, so I feel good about that.
Many of his contemporaries would say this guy and the way he drives on pit road has a lot to do with how fast those pit stops are as well.
Kenseth right now second to Jimmy Johnson. Here is Kurt Busch.
I mean, Dick's absolutely right because he got to pit road good.
The gold and blue Miller Lite Dodge. Last year, Busch started 3rd, finished 22nd.
Well,
he was the runner-up in 03.
This thing is on the splitter. I don't know. I guess they got it timed out just right, but man, that thing is on the splitter.
This will be Kurt's 8th All-Star appearance.
He's up the track quite a bit.
Looked like it still carried quite a bit of speed. I'll be anxious to see what this first lap actually is.
I think right now there's probably grip all over the track, but I just don't believe I'd want to be up where he is right now. I just think the cars must be pushing is what it looks like.
Yeah, 29.03. Not a good lap.
Yeah, he's even high. You know, he just can't get the car to stay on the bottom at all.
But it's another situation where a trouble-free run
201 red light
could put him in the top 10.
He's going to get an angle. He's going to get a run at it. I can tell you that from way up there, trying to get it wound up.
I don't know if he's going to ever be down to 50 miles an hour because that's one of the quickest entrance speeds right there that we've had.
He just came up there real high and arced it down in there. I just don't think he got it wound up.
Matt?
And Pat Tryson watching, overseeing the stop from high atop the pit box. Looks solid on the right side, going to work on the left. Jay Hackney hitting the left. And he's waiting to see if he stays. No, he goes right off the concrete onto the pavement.
He stopped short way early in the box too, Matt.
And that was still a good pit stop, and there's a good exit speed right there. Great exit speed.
One of the best.
That picks him up to 2nd right now.
If he was not speeding, getting in, that's about as close as you can get, and we're hearing no penalty. So that I think that was right up against the edge right there.
I think it's that entrance he had coming up from way high on the track down onto the pit entrance there.
Second quickest.
My mind.
2:02 with an 18.
We picked that good run to death, didn't we?
Fastest pit stop for Kurt Busch. 2 cars to go. And NASCAR's biggest Friday night party is trackside. You'll see it tonight after the truck race at 10:30.
And one thing we did learn, this is not a Hendrick car. This is a car they bought from Childress.
Oh, yeah. Hendrick engine.
We are corrected.
That Brad Keselowski, and Brad Keselowski will be on our trackside show.
Vibration.
Vibration.
Bring it in next time by, we'll fix it.
The winner at Talladega finished 7th at Darlington. This will be his first All-Star appearance.
So this will be his first All-Star qualifying in this type of configuration. Little timid getting in, DW. He didn't want to speed. Yeah, that's about the slowest entrance speed that we have seen.
2 reds, nice and smooth here, guys.
All right, so here comes the Miccosukee Indian Gaming Chevrolet. Matt?
Mike Kyle Petty, the crew member, not the former driver. He's going to go to work on the front. Big Chuck White spent a number of years over at Joe Gibbs Racing, the Jackman on the 09. Let's listen in.
Go, as hard as you can go.
14.2 on the pit stop. See what kind of exit speed that Brad gets. 110.
He had a bunch of wheel spin, Larry, as he transitioned from concrete to asphalt.
I tell you, that's 850 horsepower.
Well, yeah, that's hard to get to the ground.
Try to get that hooked up
under any circumstances.
You got it. That's why we see these things spin the wheels when they restarts a lot of times.
No penalties so far.
Well, we know they probably change everything in it, drive shaft and gear and everything else. That could be where it is.
10th for Brad Keselowski, 2:04.98. 1 car to go.
Well, he who goes last could very well end up first.
And then Kyle Busch will start from the pole in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series when they run their race right after qualifying. More correctly at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time tonight, right here on Speed. Dick.
With Kurt Busch, second right now. How hard were you on the gas with that deal?
It was cool. Our car handled great for its qualifying lap, and then maybe I screwed up a little bit coming to pit road. I felt like I got on the brakes too early. Then when I crossed the first beacon, I wasn't even in second gear to check my pit road speed yet, so I really had to just hunker down, throw away that speed. But awesome job on my pit crew, and face protector lid, gold Miller Lite car. Hey, we're doing good so far.
And the gold on the car matches the uniform. PK, show them the shoes. Look at these shoes. How's that, Mike Joy?
Those DW shoes right there now.
Very sporty.
Yeah.
All right, his younger brother is on the racetrack. This will be his 4th All-Star appearance. Last year he started first.
This time.
Lost the engine.
Not what I was expecting, Mike and Darrell. Just a little bit off. 28.87.
Is that supposed to be? Oh, yeah. Looked like a shot of Steve Addington up on the pit stop in blue.
I like that. You got that lug nut right there.
We're number 1.
Watch your tag.
Here he comes.
Fan on.
Here comes the M&M's Toyota, Matt.
Mike, in a sea of yellow and brown M&M's colors, the coach, Joe Gibbs, in a blue shirt, watching the 18 team go to work. You saw Kyle slide to a stop in his box. Nick Odell, you can see he's got a small light across the front of his visor to help with viewing the lugs, and he's away. Good stop.
Sounded a little boggy when he got about a
I think it's going to be okay, though, Larry. I think he picked up a good bit of speed.
118.
Yeah, I think he was okay with that.
This looks like a top 3 run in the making.
He's working on that front row if he can get up to speed and get her through 3 and 4, coming back to take the checkered flag. Coach very well may have one car starting near the front of the pack, and the other car, Denny Hamlin, starting at the back, had to probably leave it.
I don't know what is, man. Nice job, guys. I don't care where that puts us. That's solid.
Second.
You're right, bud. It's solid, but it's second.
3/10 off of Jimmy Johnson.
That is a nice run, though, compared to, Jimmy Johnson. He kind of separated from everybody else. Great job. Coach Gibbs looks over the numbers, which he loves to do. They call an audible here.
So Jimmy Johnson has won his first pole in his 8th All-Star appearance. We have more to come after this. Started second in the All-Star race in 2006 and 7. For the first time ever, he will start from the pole. Dick?
Well, congratulations at starting on the pole, but would you rather start on the outside of the front row tomorrow night?
Outside's pretty nice coming off it, too. You can usually suck by someone, but I'm so proud of this. We get to go get that trophy, and it was a team effort tonight, and I just can't thank my guys enough for all the hard work.
Congratulations. We'll look forward to the race tomorrow night.
Awesome, thank you.
Well, we thought Kyle Busch was going to start from the outside of the front row. That's not true. Here's our Subway starting grid. Kyle had one loose lug nut, which is going to drop him 11 positions.
But there's still a Busch on the front row.
That's right. It's Kurt.
But you look at all those Hendrick cars in the first 3 rows.
I'll tell you, we had a mixed bag, didn't we, Larry, of penalties, a couple of speeding penalties.
Both 2 of the Childers cars.
But here's some good news. Nobody slid through their pit box today.
They did not. One left a little early, but nobody slid through it.
So 3 spots yet to fill, the top 2 finishers in the Sprint Showdown and the fan vote winner. That's where Casey Kane came from to win it all 1 year ago. Now the Pennzoil Victory Challenge you'll see tomorrow night as part of Speed's special edition of NASCAR Race Day. Darrell, how did Burnout School go?
Well, it went really well, and I'm looking forward to it. I'd never done that before. That was a challenge, you know. Harvick laid it on me. I said, well, I'll give it a go. We'll see. I'm looking forward to it. Not very much room out here to do it in, I might say.
Did Lugnut give you the lessons? He's out doing burnouts on the front straightaway now.
Are you saying this front stretch is a little narrower than the parking lot you practiced in?
It's just a little bit narrow. That's the only thing I'm really worried about.
So here's our Advance Auto Parts Friday menu. The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series is next, the setup and the race. And then you'll see trackside tonight at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Getting ready? No, getting ready to introduce the drivers for the North Carolina Education Lottery 200.
Michael, Phil, Rick,
Rowdy Busch, who will start from the pole. They got about 2/3 of the way through qualifying before the rains came. And under NASCAR rules, that's just wrong. Unless every driver, my pool table doesn't have an 18 ball. I don't know about yours. Unless every driver has a chance to qualify, all the runs are wiped out.
Well, there was the best of the best tonight right there, that 48 group.
So Jimmy Johnson wins the pole, Kurt Busch the outside pole, Matt Kenseth, Dale Jr. the front 2 rows. We'll bring you the All-Star race tomorrow night. We're going race trucking next right here on Speed.